York's Divine Channel. Camille Conti, you can have it all. Where you know that you already have it all. And it's just about unleashing it, bringing it out of your inner wisdom, knowing. It is time today to celebrate some wonderful business owners that are following their divine calling. Today's topic is none other than free will versus divine will versus free will within your career and in your business. Now, last week we discussed it as an overall topic of our overall life. And today we're looking specifically into our career and business, following divine will or free will within our career or business. We are going to have some guest visitors and speakers today. And today my eye is watering a lot. I think that we have a candle on that my eye doesn't like, but it's normally all the candles I have on are normally just fine. So I haven't figured out which one is the culprit. So we are very excited. We are going to be featuring some wonderful business owners that are following their next right step on their divine calling. And we are going to be talking about why and how it came about. How did we discover what our divine calling was? And why are we doing the business that we're doing? So in life, we find out that we're good at a lot of things. And then there's the things that we feel are placed on our heart by divine, asking us to be a part of a particular industry so that we can make a particular kind of difference in the world. And that's why the topic today is divine will versus free will, part 2, in your career and in your business. Last week, we talked about it as a specific overall, just looking down because I have some guests coming on our show today and getting a text message while I'm on live TV. So I am going to be talking about the myths, and let's start with that right now before we introduce our guest speakers. The first myth about divine will versus free will is that you are going to be doing something that you don't want to do, that doesn't make you happy, that isn't actually something that you would ever imagined yourself doing, and it's misery. Okay, I've actually been asked that because people are worried about whether they are going to follow divine will or free will. And I'm here to tell you the good news. Good news is you following your divine calling will be the secret recipe to bringing you the most blissful life ever. I was about to say the most orgasmic, blissful life. And so here I am saying it because why? In life, you have to follow those places that make you beautifully happy and lit up inside in an extraordinary way. And many times on our journey, we discover parts of our life or areas of expertise that we didn't even know we had within us. So there is a giant that lies within you. And I like to call it divine. And now I have an eye watering and a nose running from some kind of candle that's lit in here. So I apologize. Yes, I am on live TV, watering nose and eyes. And I'd like you to know that that giant within you is just waiting to come out. And when she comes out, and I say she because this is the Win-Win Women television network. And so we are catering specifically to women on this worldwide network. This particular show is going to go out into 195 nations around the world, and it will be archived forever. So you may have people watching this month, next year. And when I introduce my guest speakers, they're going to tell you a little bit about their business, what their unique niche is, what they're doing, how to contact them. In the first half an hour, we're going to be talking about why we followed our divine will versus free will and how it became our free will. that's actually the cool thing, is that following your divine will merges into your free will, because you notice that it is the best way to light up your heart, mind, body, and spirit, and feel amazing, and feel like you do have a purpose in this world, and feel like you aren't here for no reason at all. You're not here just to suffer and be in misery, but you're here to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be feeling loved and giving love. And oftentimes, for a period of time in our life, that eludes us. I know for me it did. I know there was a 10-year period where I was like, what is going on? This is not what I expected. And I am really glad that I am still here today to be able to tell you how I figured it out, and how you can figure it out at home, wherever you live in the world, what your divine purpose is. And I'm going to give you a clue. Although the topic is divine will versus free will, part 2, because we did overall last week, we talked about the overall life. Now, today, we're specifically working on the niche of career and business, and working within your divine will. And how I discovered it was because divine was showing me and opening up doors over there, and then closing doors over on the side of what I thought I should have to be doing or wanted to do. And it was like, okay, I give up. I surrender. I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm just going to follow divine. In fact, I had a wonderful business coach, and actually, I would call her more a spiritual coach, that guided me to understand that. She said, Camille, stop banging down doors that are locked and start walking through doors that are opened. And I was like, oh, what a novel idea. And so at home today, wherever you are watching this video, whether it's live right now or whether it's recorded later on, I want to say the same thing to you. Start paying attention to what doors are opening up and what doors are closed and locked. There's a reason. Everything is in divine order. Everything is in divine timing. Everything is in divine will. And if we are stubborn and still trying to pound down what I call the free will doors, we're going to wear ourselves out ragged and be miserable eventually, and then start wondering, why am I here? I don't want to be here. And hopefully you won't be like me. But at one point I was like, I need to get out of here. And so thankfully I did not do any of those things. And I don't say that with pride. I say that with an understanding that in this world today, we have a mental health crisis. And I believe that there are many reasons why, and many things that attribute to the mental health crisis. And definitely the pandemic that we just got through did not help anything. We already had it going on before the pandemic, the mental health crisis, and then that just made it a lot more of a challenge. So it's because people have been taught in school. We went to school and we were taught, okay, you're going to study these topics, and then you're going to go to college, and then you're going to study a particular niche, and then you're going to go get a job working in that niche, and then you're going to be able to pay the bills, have your family, have 2.1 children and 2 cars and a vacation 3 times a year. And then we subscribe to that plan. And many of us, not all of us, thankfully, but many of us see that it's not working. In fact, maybe it is working. Maybe it's working really well, and it's making us miserable because we feel tied down and chained down to a job that we don't feel soul aligned to. And then because we studied so hard for so many years and invested so much money and so much time, we feel almost imprisoned to the idea that we better at least get our money back and do that job that we studied and paid for so much time and money. And I'm going to tell you right now, maybe some people will be mad if there's any college advisors in here. I'm a huge proponent of education. I run an academy. I own an academy. So I'm not going to say education is not helpful. It's incredibly helpful, But there's one little tweak. Sometimes you have to realize that although you went to school and have a degree in a certain area, you're going to end up working differently with that degree, and sometimes incredibly differently than you originally anticipated. And that is okay. I remember, and I'm going to tell you right now, because I did start following doors that were opened. And then at one point, I think about maybe 12 years ago, maybe even a little longer than that, I hit that brick wall where there was too many things that had happened in a row in my life that were difficult, with the death of my sister, the death of my father, and having a divorce, and then having a son who needed all kinds of medical stuff. And it was just like bam, 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 bam. And so that was me then just trying to make one thing work well in my life. But when you're handling so many things, sometimes it just kind of rips everything apart. And guess what? At the time, I thought I was in hell. And what I found out is that that was divine intervention. So for you, think about that right now. You may just be experiencing a very uncomfortable divine intervention. And I say uncomfortable because sometimes the intervention component lasts much longer than we would ever desire as we're being turned. And so sometimes divine comes in and gets our sail on our sailboat and says, okay, we're going to move the sail on the sailboat and we're going to turn it 45 degrees. So that we're now headed over here instead of over here. Because why? Because it's actually going to support your heart's desires and your soul missions, which will bring you bliss. Most people, the myth is they think that that's going to make them miserable and take them away from what they want. And, we cleave, like I was hanging on to what I thought it was so supposed to be. And with white knuckles that were becoming bloody knuckles, right? And finally, I just gave up because I couldn't hang on anymore. And that's when you go into that place of either recognizing that you're being magically and miraculously turned into the right place that will bring you all of your dreams and goals, by the way, from a completely different way than you ever anticipated that your dreams and goals and soul missions and bliss and happiness and joy were going to come from. And because we think, oh my God, we're getting off track. Oh, we're totally, and you're afraid because fear comes in that you're going to never end up where you want to, or never even experience some of the wonderful, magnificent things that you dream of experiencing. You hang on to what you know instead of faithfully and with trust and with courage and with bravery. I call that's probably not even a word, but you actually go ahead and step into those doors that are opened. And some of them aren't even just wide open like this. Some of them have a vacuum and they're sucking you in. And you're going, no. And I'm telling you, let them, as long as they're legal, moral, and ethical, and it's for the greatest good of all parties involved, even if you don't like it, allow yourself to go in and see what's on the other side of the door, because there is magic and miracles and gifts from divine on the other side of that door. And it is where the rubber hits the road. It's where the people that are highly successful are hanging out. And then the people who are miserable are hanging out outside of those doors, banging on the other doors that will not open up, trying to crash them down. They're kicking them down. And then they finally kick it down. I know, because I've done this before. That's why I can say all this. Then you finally kick it down and there's nothing on the other side of that door. You thought that there was, maybe your one true love, the person you're going to marry. Maybe it's that you're going to live your life out and walk down the beach when you're 90 years old, happy, holding hands and be able to finish each other's sentences. You think that's the one you're supposed to be with, right? Or you think that's the career, the holy grail that's going to bring you your millions or your fame and fortune. And some of us aren't even going for that fame and fortune. We're just going for that we love our career and that we can not only pay our bills, but do some of the fun things that we want to be able to do and take care of the loved ones that we enjoy in our life and be able to provide a nice life, right? And so we're thinking that on the other side of the door, that's where the answer is. And then we find out it's not. So I'm here to say, follow divine will and let it show you the way. And so some of us get there by like just hitting our head up against the wall so many times that we're so bruised that we're almost just dizzy and spinning, going, okay, God, okay. All right, God. All right, just show me, whatever. I'll just throw all my dreams and goals out and do it your way. Okay. We're thinking that. And at the same time, divine is going, God is going, no, you don't understand. I'm trying to help you get your goals and your dreams. I'm not asking you to throw them out. You prayed, you set your intentions, you meditated, you claimed it. And here it is. Here's the answer. And you're running away from it. You know, that story about how the person's up on the top of their house and there's a flood and this actual boat comes by and says, hey, you want to hop on the boat? And they go, no, I prayed and God is going to save me from this flood. And they're like, yeah, get on the boat. God sent the boat. And there's the people who are like, no, I'm going to have a yacht coming. I'm not taking your boat. It's like, you don't know, that yacht might be, that little boat is going to be taking you to the yacht. And God has different steps that he or she guides you through, divine guides you through to get you what your intentions are and what your heart's desires and your dreams and your goals. And more than not, if it isn't exactly what you asked for, I'm going to tell you what it's going to be better than what you asked for. I've experienced this time and time again. Once I got my own head out of my own butt and stopped trying to kick down the wrong doors, I realized, OMG, whenever it's not exactly what I asked for, it's way better. And I'm like, whoa. And so I also have an academy full of clients and students who say the same thing once they get on that track of just letting the doors open up, walking through, and the ones that are sucking them in, just double checking. Yeah, it looks legal, moral, ethical, probably pretty safe. All right, let's try it. At least try it. Put your toe in and then go, all right, it's still pretty good. All right, put your whole body in. And then you're like, what? This is on the other side of the door. There's the rainbow and the golden nuggets and all the money and all of the loved ones, your beautiful person that you're going to be marrying, and maybe your children, because you're trying to have children or adopt children or surrogate children, whatever children. And they're all over there. And you thought that they were with your psychology degree or your medical degree or your phys ed degree or social media degree. They probably have one of those now. And it's not. So for me, I remember when I graduated with my bachelor in psychology and communication, and I really was like wanting to go for my PhD, but my father was like, no more money, go to work now, get a job. And so I was like, okay, fine. And I started in the field of my cosmetic business. And I remember somebody very rude within my family was like, I won't name any names, they know who they are, said to me, oh, so basically you're just selling. And they didn't even use the word selling. They used some weird word that wasn't polite or nice at all. So basically you're just pushing cosmetics. And I go, okay, let me see here. So I own the cosmetic company. It's my business. It's my brand. And if you know anything about the cosmetic industry, you're mostly a psychotherapist, because when you're working with your clients, they're talking about their life and you're able to help heal them and release it, because they're going to tell their hairstylist, their cosmetologist, their esthetician more than they actually go and tell their counselor half the time. And for years, I worked in that capacity, and clients would come and tell me, you saved my life. And I'm like, what? Because at the time, I was younger and newer at what I was doing. So I was just pouring my whole heart and soul into it, praying that I was going to be able to help transform this person's life while they were coming for a color, wardrobe, and hair and skincare and cosmetic analysis. Because I would do a whole analysis head to toe for your wardrobe, your skin, your makeup, your hairstyle, what your career was, what you were trying to accomplish with your life. And then we were going to put your look together according to that. And then if they didn't feel like, I would be like, okay, you need a little bit of a darker lipstick because you're doing this particular career and we need you to just put yourself out there a little bit more. And we're going to get your confidence up so that you can wear that color lipstick and feel good about it. So then I would do confidence training so that they could put the lipstick on that they needed for that particular career to succeed. And that was me when I was 19 years old. And that's how I began. And yes, I had the rude relative that was like, oh, you're just pushing cosmetics, even with all your college training. And I'm like, oh my God, some people just don't get it. And not knowing that I was on my divine calling. So I'm sharing with you that sometimes, although you went to school for psychology and communication, you end up owning a cosmetic company and an academy for personal and business development. And I'm not necessarily sitting in an office as a psychologist, but I am, because I'm also a divine channel, a certified consulting hypnotist, because I went ahead and got all these other modalities, and a neurolinguistics programming practitioner, so I could couple it with it. But I will tell you, during that changeover time when those things had happened and I was looking at my life and going, what is going on? Because I hadn't really put it all together yet. I had this happening, but it didn't all fully make sense yet. And so I thought I was off track, not knowing that all of that off trackness was the intervention from divine's guidance and divine intervention, putting me where I am right now. Okay. Where I feel completely fulfilled and I have for well over 7 years, have felt completely fulfilled in everything that I'm doing, and continue to follow divine's guidance daily, because then there's new components that will be given to you, like, okay, and I know you're cozy and comfortable now, and now we're going to introduce the next component to your divine calling and your journey. And that's my personal story. And now I'm going to be inviting our guests. We have 3 guests in the room that I have invited, that I have the privilege and honor to be sharing with you some very strong and powerful, witty and intelligent and gifted and talented women who are also brave and have a lot of courage, because they have been willing to step into their divine calling and do the next right step that they feel within their heart. And we've all found our divine calling in on our journey of life differently, but a lot is in common too. And so I think after hearing my story and then hearing a little bit from each of these women, divine women, you're going to start at your home, at your office, or in your car, wherever you're watching or listening to this show. You're going to start putting 2 and 2 together of the different things that you've already experienced on your journey in your life, and how they're all merging together to create the answer to your goals and your dreams, your heart's desires, and your soul mission, the reason why you incarnated and came into this world in the first place. And we aren't supposed to find out stuff until we're supposed to find out stuff. So divine kind of helps us peel the layers off of our eyeballs, one layer at a time, so that we can be guided on our journey. And sometimes we have to be a little bit naive in order to get, for divine to get us there. I have discovered that if we knew too much, like for instance, I never would have started my own cosmetic company if I knew how much it took to do it, how much work, how much investment, how much time, energy, money. I would never, if they would have laid it out. But actually, because I took it one step at a time, one day at a time, there were the annoying days and the frustrating days at times, and oh my God, I need to find a new supplier, and but because you already have so much else going on, you've already got all these clients that love your products, and they're like, oh my God, Camille, I could never be without your products. So you're like, okay, I can handle it. I'll go find my new supplier. How annoying, because now this one decided to get dementia, and what am I going to do? I can't be mad that this person, guess what that means? Divine intervention. I'm supposed to be, this person with dementia is going to their next expression of their soul, basically. And I'm supposed to go through a new door now, because that door has closed. And now the new door is opening the doors that I'm going to be looking for. And so we can't be stubborn. If we're stubborn and unwilling to be open-minded, we will completely miss our goals and our dreams, because divine is going to guide us there. If we're open-minded, we're going to get there quickly. If we're stubborn, we're going to take a long time, and we're going to cause ourselves unnecessary turmoil, because we're going to be trying to follow free will. And I'm going to tell you, free will is a fast pace to hell, and divine will is a fast pace to heaven. And what I mean by that is, divine will help you get your goals and your dreams. Free will take you away from your goals and dreams. That's what I have learned, not only personally in my own life, but in many, many of my clients' lives over the many years that I've been working with them in my private practice, my agency, and my academy. So today, I'd like to introduce the first guest. In the top left-hand corner of my room is Rachel Perry. And I would like you to let them know where you're from and what the name of your business is. And we'll start with that. I'm going to interview you each.
Hello. All right. I am Rachel Perry, and I am from Buffalo Grove, Illinois.
Woohoo!
Buffalo Grove, Illinois, in the United States. And my name of the business is Willikai Wellness.
Amazing. And what do you do, Rachel, in your business?
I'm a forest therapy and nature connection guide. So I help people relax, get in tune with their senses, and enjoy the benefits of what's outside.
This is awesome. And how did you discover that this is your divine calling, at least the next right step on your journey of following your divine calling? Because we'll have many new steps along our journey. How did you discover this to be what you're supposed to be doing?
So ever since I was little, I wanted to be outside. I felt peace. I felt serenity, place of calm. My mind would settle down, and I didn't know I could do that for a living. So, you make little steps here, you go through the wrong doors in your analogy, and how, and I just wasn't happy. So I would escape that life into the woods, and I'd go back and escape that life, go back into the woods. And that wasn't fulfilling at all. And it kind of came across my lap of, bloop, you could be a certified forest therapy guide. And I was like, all right, that's the thing. So
now, how can people get a hold of you? Because I just noticed my time, and for the first recorded part, I want to get everybody in, and then we go into the unrecorded part, and that's where people can talk with us and book appointments with us and ask questions with us. So how can they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me through my website, www.willikai, that is WILLAKAI wellness.com. You can email me through there, and I'm on social media, Instagram and Facebook.
Amazing. And I know Rachel very well, and I highly recommend her. She's wonderful. Thank you for being with us today, Rachel. Don't go anywhere. You're going to be in the second half with us too in the interactive room. Sharon, I see you next in the room. Sharon Klinger. Okay. Where are you from, and what is your business name, and what do you do? Real quick in 1 minute.
I am from Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, Northeast Pennsylvania. The name of my company is Heavy Metal Rollers, and it's a heavy weighted massage roller.
Awesome. And how did you discover that this was the next step in your divine calling in your career or business?
I was experiencing pain myself and was introduced to massage rolling, which was the best feeling ever in the world when we used heavy weight using a barbell. So I decided to create it for myself.
Awesome. Okay, now Oh, yay. Okay. And where can people get a hold of you?
So my website is www.heavymetalrollers.com.
With a T or a D in the metal part?
Metal.
Okay.
Metal, as in it's made of metal.
All right. Awesome. And thank you very much for coming today. Stay with us. We're going to go into the interactive room shortly. Okay. Dana Mitchell, where are you from and what is your business name and how do we get a hold of you?
Hello, I'm Dana Mitchell. I'm from Ohio, currently in the Northeast Ohio. My company is Peace of Mind Healing. I am a licensed massage therapist, a licensed esthetician, and an empathic healer and life coach. And
Awesome.
I don't have a website right now, but you could get a hold of me at Dana, D-A-N-N-A, Mitchell, M-I-T-C-H-E-L-L 65 at gmail.com.
Awesome. And I know both Sharon and Dana as well personally, and I highly recommend them as wonderful contacts for the things that they are offering in the world today. And Dana, real quick, how did you discover that this was your divine calling?
Well, it started when I became a licensed massage therapist and then went into craniosacral therapy and realized that healing is what I do. And I feel I've been a healer for a very long time, and I'm just coming into my gifts even more powerfully and bringing it to the world.
Okay. And is it true that when you're following your divine calling, it brings you the most happiness and it's helping you to achieve your goals and dreams better than you could have done that outside of following your calling?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yay. And how about Sharon on that question? Do you feel that way as well?
Yes, I would have never envisioned that I would have created something like this ever.
Okay. Awesome. And Rachel, how about you? Have you noticed that this is bringing you the most peace of mind and guiding you where you want to be the best ever?
Yes. I mean, now I don't have to escape into the woods. I get to be in the woods all the time. So
yay. Okay. So we're going to turn the recording off and we're going to go into the interactive room. I have some awesome stuff planned for us. So let me just do that.